Thank you, Lord, for this wonderful day, for the food which we're about to enjoy. We ask your blessings upon it, and we ask you to bless this union between James and Lizzie. Please also bless our friends and family who are gathered here to witness this union, and to those who are not with us today, but are here in spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Jim. And for the first of tonight's three toasts, there are three toasts, so make sure you pace yourself on the champagne that's in your glass. We have the very proud father of the bride, Mr. Tom Lafferty.
I'll put this down here for a minute. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming today. What a beautiful day we had. Checking the weather all week, rain, no rain. So that worked out perfect. I want to thank everyone for taking their time from their busy day, their busy lives, to come and spend a special day between James and Lizzie and their beautiful marriage today. Wasn't it beautiful? It was awesome. But I want to talk I'm going to try to be, I can be long-winded, so I'm going to try to be as short as possible. I know there's a lot more people who are going to follow me, but I want to talk about James first for a little bit. So, anyway, Lizzie was starting to date James. Oh, by the way, I lost all my notes, so I'm winging it. So Lizzie started to date James, and I didn't meet him. So I went to, we had a Pine Valley Golf Club Christmas party. And Mike Santoro, wherever Mike may be, he was there, and I said, what's up with this James guy? I mean, when am I going to meet him? And I'll be perfectly honest with you. As a father and a daughter, you hate the boyfriends. Hate them. But finally, I met James. It was totally opposite to me. I really took to him, and I liked him. And there was a lot of reasons why. One was DraftKings, FanDuel, fantasy football, and James is a big sports fan, kind of like me. It was kind of weird. It was kind of like, I'm very much like him. I just couldn't figure it out. And he likes the Phillies. He likes the Birds. He likes the Sixers. He's not a big Flyer fan, I don't think. Nah, not a big Flyer fan. He likes tennis, and I like tennis. And James is a big Notre Dame. Oh, that's right. He's not perfect. He's a Michigan State fan. So you either love Notre Dame or you hate Notre Dame. James is on this side. He kind of hates Notre Dame, but that's okay. He's not perfect. But later on, when I got to know James, he comes from a great family. Cheryl and Jim, good people. Comes from a great family. He's a hard worker. He works really hard. He works really hard. But the thing that really got me on James is the way he treats my daughter. So that to me was the ultimate. And James, welcome to our family. We love you. It's a shame you live so far away. 3 houses away. But welcome, James, and you have my beautiful daughter, Lizzie, as your bride. So give me a couple of minutes to talk about Lizzie. So I'm very proud of Lizzie, as my wife, Denise, is very proud of Lizzie. And a lot of things from her beautiful dance outfits when she was in ballet to she played 1 game of T-ball softball. And Lizzie's she's more of a dancer and that kind of stuff. She's not a jock. But so Lizzie, I lost my train of thought. So anyway, so Lizzie, there's a lot of things to be proud of Lizzie. So she graduated from Jefferson with a degree in Bachelor's of Science in occupational therapy and a master's in occupational therapy. That day was probably one of the proudest days of my life, having her as a daughter graduating. But there was one little thing that I was a little more proud of. Well, probably, let me phrase that, equally proud of. This all started probably in 2000, probably when she started dating James. Lizzie wanted to be an Eagle fan. So to be an Eagle fan is difficult, especially around my house, right, Denise? I mean, it's difficult to be an Eagle fan because I've been a season ticket holder since 1971. So I live and breathe with the Eagles, as Denise knows. Sometimes she goes crazy. But anyway, so Lizzie wanted to be an Eagle fan. So she kind of did a lot of things as far as to try to become an Eagle fan. And come on, I was like, okay, she wants to be an Eagle fan, whatever. But then she started watching all the games. And she started sitting in the same seat. And if they won, she had to sit in that same seat the next week. Because if they lost, it didn't matter at that point. So this went on, and even on our refrigerator, Lizzie would write down the schedule, and she would put all the scores. I was like, wow. And I love my son Tommy, but he lives in California, and 3-hour difference. So I was trying to fill the void a little bit. And here I have my beautiful daughter kind of into the Eagles, like, wow. So, but still, to be an Eagle fan is hard. It all changed in January of 2018. That's when it all changed. So me and Lizzie went to the Atlanta Eagles game. And it was stinking cold that day. And Lizzie and I, it must have been, what, in the low 20s? Lizzie got a Goose Island, a 16-ounce Goose Island, and drank that beer, and the cold didn't bother her one bit. So the game went on, and I'm sure a lot of people are Eagle fans. When Julio Jones missed that pass in the end zone, I looked over at my daughter, and her eyes were closed. She couldn't watch the game, so I could see the passion coming out of her. I said, wow, man, she got some passion. But it all changed even further the next week. It was the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Championship game. So I have a buddy of mine that has 3 tickets, and I have 2, so we switched tickets. So my son Tommy flew in from California, and my beautiful daughter Lizzie came with me. And the 3 of us went to the game. It was a totally different game from the week before. It was warm. It was balmy, actually, for January. So we're sitting outside our seats, and we're sitting by the concession stand. And, of course, Lizzie is drinking a Goose Island because she had it last week, and they won. So you can't change. So we're sitting there, and these 4 people walk by. These 2 men walked by first, and then these 2 ladies, probably in their 50s, seemed like very nice ladies. They were dressed totally in Minnesota garb. From their hats to their jackets, everything was Minnesota. And if you see that face, they saw Lizzie's face, how can you not smile at her? I mean, she's very approachable, she's pretty, she's beautiful. James, you got lucky, dude. But she's gorgeous, and they gave her the biggest smile. That day was one of my proudest moments because she became an Eagle fan that day. She gave them not 1, but 2 double birds. That's how I knew I had a good Eagle fan. But all kidding aside, what a great marriage. What a great ceremony. I wish you guys all the health and love. And Lizzie, I'm only 3 houses down. James, I'm only 3 houses down. Come on down. We'll have a good time. We'll go to Iron Hill. We'll have a good time. It's nice to have them. James, nice to have you in my family. And God bless both of you guys. So, one last thing. As my mom and Lizzie's mom would say, she was 100% Italian. Salud.
Yeah, big round of applause for Tom. Thank you. Lizzie flipped off those Viking fans, and he was like, I'm going to tell this story on her wedding day. Next, we invite to the microphone the matron of honor, Christy Santoro.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christy, Lizzie's matron of honor. Lizzie, you look absolutely beautiful tonight. James, you look quite handsome. There comes a time in everyone's life when they meet their one true love, their soulmate, the person that is going to love and cherish them for the rest of their lives, the person that makes their heart whole. That time came for Lizzie when she met me 29 years ago. All kidding aside, I was doing a lot of thinking about our relationship and how I can put what it means to me in words. However, I quickly came to the realization that our relationship is so unique that the best way to define it is that Lizzie is my built-in everything. Not only are we cousins by blood, who basically grew up across the street from each other, we are best friends by choice. In fact, we are so close that we are practically sisters, practically the same person. We finish each other's sentences, say the exact same thing at the exact same time, and we can just look at each other and know what the other is thinking. I think James would agree with me on this, on account he frequently calls me Lizzie and Lizzie Christy, mixing us up on a near regular basis. We really have been through it all together. Girl Scouts, dance, piano, family parties, jobs, school, weddings, houses, renovations, and much more. In fact, the truth is, I can't remember a time in my life without Lizzie. All of my memories include her. And that, to me, is something that is truly special and has strengthened our bond. Lizzie, there is not one thing in this world that I wouldn't do for you. You are my constant reminder that it is not what you have, it's who you have. Ugh. 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 Okay. And although I suppose I must share you now, James, I am glad that it is with you. And as someone who has loved Lizzie for such a long time, thank you for loving her so much. Oh, okay. Thanks for the chant, guys. I appreciate the support. James, you are Lizzie's perfect match. When Lizzie found you, she had found the person that was going to celebrate all the best things about Lizzie. Your kindness and gentle nature balance out Lizzie's most fiery qualities. And he knows how to do it in such a loving way. The day I knew their marriage was inevitable was when we found out about a gift that James had bought for Lizzie's mom. He had picked out a candle that he thought had a nice scent. A nice mix of watermelon, cantaloupe, and honeydew. He shows this gift to Lizzie, and she looks at it and says, "The gift that you're gonna give my mom says, nice melons." He still gave her that candle. In that moment, I knew that James was the one for Lizzie. We still laugh at this till this day. He fit in perfectly with our family and friends. His dry sense of humor and lighthearted jokes are always something that I will look forward to and enjoy. Not to mention, James is great at making homemade pizza, and I do intend on crashing some of those pizza nights in the future. Overall, Lizzie and James are great together. A love like theirs is hard to describe in words, but it is quickly and easily felt when you are with them. Now that I have been married for precisely 454 days to my husband, Mike, I will offer some words of marriage advice. Let me first say, Lizzie and I have quite the green thumb. I imagine this quality stems from our genetics. Anyway, something to always remember. Marriage is like a garden. It takes time to grow, but the harvest is rich for those who patiently and tenderly care for the ground. Since Lizzie, Mike, and I convinced James to make the big move from Somerdale to our hometown of Stratford, New Jersey, the four of us will plant our family tree, establish our roots, and grow here together. James, I am so honored to call you my family. Thank you for making Lizzie so happy. Mike and I sincerely look forward to growing old and doing life with the two of you. And now, without further ado, please join me in raising a glass that I do not have. Thanks, Sam, you the bomb. To the newly married couple, the Cronces. I'm Finns.
Thank you, Christy. For the third and final toast, we invite to the microphone the best man, Dave Roberts.
All right. So the energy in this room has been way too positive about James, so we're going to knock it down a bit here, okay? So I've known James since second grade, right? So I was doing the math. Miss Parrish, you need to do better because it took me about half an hour to figure this out. It's been about 23 years. So in that time, we've shared a lot of important moments. We've left our imprint on one another. For example, I'm pretty sure James watched his first R-rated movie at my house. It sticks out because we had to call his parents and ask for permission. It was, the movie was American Pie. No, stop. I know what you're thinking, but we were watching for the plot. So we've shared a lot of moments. We had a lot of sleepovers. Thanks to James, I hold the Guinness World Record, actually, if you guys aren't aware, of the person who's seen the first 20 minutes of Cool Runnings the most. I gotta make a confession. I never finished it. I think you ruined it for me, if I'm being honest. We share other things too. We were pretty mediocre at math together. We were actually so mediocre at math that our school couldn't figure out whether or not to put us in the advanced class with the rest of our friends as we were transitioning from 6th to 7th grade. So we had to tutor for the entire summer going into 7th grade. It sounds like a bummer, right? But it was actually kind of awesome because I got to spend an entire summer with my favorite teacher, Miss Parrish, our favorite teacher. So we would learn, and then we would goof off and play with lightsabers or play Madden or whatever for the rest of the summer. So it worked out. It was pretty cool. But my first inkling that Lizzie wasn't going anywhere, and for the record, I always knew that James and Lizzie would end up together. There's like a long history that I'm not going to get into, but I was at the bottom floor. I was there. I was before any of you. It's not a big deal. But anyway, James and I went to a Killers concert. Yeah. Thank you. It was in Atlantic City, and I was newly single, and I promise that's important to the story. So we go to this Killers concert, and somebody had the wise idea, probably James, that we would start out drinking Red Bull and vodka. So we just went back and forth buying each other vodka and Red Bull, and obviously things got out of hand. Fast forward, we get back on the train to go home, and we actually both black out, and we wind up in Cherry Hill, which wasn't our stop. And thank God for groomsman Ray, who picked us up at about 2 in the morning. But in between there, we were hanging around a couple of women that were just in our vicinity. And I was very interested. They were not. They were not remotely interested in me. But, you know, I asked James to just kind of like, you know, hang around and stuff. I didn't, you know, nothing else. He didn't even have to be creepy. I had that covered, you know. So anyway, at some point in the night, it's kind of foggy, as you can imagine. I don't even remember a song that they played. But at some point in the night, James comes up to me kind of, you know, like in a panic. I've seen this kind of a bunch of times throughout the course of our life. And he's like, you know, like, Dave, I can't do this. I don't know. And I'm like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, do what? Like, I like literally, you know, you're just standing there anyway. Like, just stand there. Like, you're not being remotely creepy. Like, I've got it down. Don't worry. But like even that was too much for him. He was just thinking about Lizzie the entire time we were there. We probably talked about Lizzie the entire time we were riding there. So I knew she was sticking around. So Lizzie, you know, now that you're taking James away from the Kranzes, I actually wrote down like a list of things, you know, it'll just kind of help you. It's like almost like a gremlin list, right? So like 1, don't let him eat late. He will try. He will try, but he'll regret it in the morning. And 2, don't let him game late. And like this is a lot like 1. He's going to try. But again, he will regret it in the morning. And then 3, I know it seems funny, right? Like when he gets paranoid and like worked up and neurotic and stuff. I've been there. And like I would egg it on and stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. The day it goes off the rails so quick, you know, like, and that's a day lost. So anyway, one thing I want to do before I leave here is I want to do a special congratulations to my second parents, Jim and Cheryl Krantz. It was close, right? Like he moved out and then he came back. And then it seemed like he would never leave. But guys, this past week, they finally got rid of him. He's out. He's out. It's legal now. No, seriously, I want to thank both set of parents, the Laffertys and the Kranzes, for raising 2 amazing human beings. which is such a major feat nowadays. I know, like, it's insane, but they really did. And I just want to say, even though I only watched the first 20 minutes, I took a lot to heart when we were watching Cool Runnings. Do you know what Cool Runnings means? That's exactly it. See, actually, this speech works a lot better if you don't know. But it does. It does mean that. And so tonight, I just want to wish you both cool runnings on the rest of your relationship together. And that, folks, is the first time anybody's ever quoted Cool Runnings in a best man speech. Let's go. Congratulations to the bride and groom. Let's go.